Hello. Today we're going to make lemon chicken thighs, and to do that we've got 4 chicken thighs. These have skin on and bone in, and that's important for how we're going to cook them today. We've got our garlic. I know that's no surprise to anyone who's been watching me. Our lemon, 2 good-sized lemons. We're going to season with salt and, salt and pepper. And we've got our white wine vinegar and honey fresh from our beehives. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take the chicken thighs. I'm going to put them in this bag, and you'll notice I have the bag in a container, and then I have a cuff made into the bag so that I can easily hold the bag, dump something into it, and not get my hands dirty. So let's do that. So in go the chicken thighs. Notice I'm not touching my hands at all, so I don't have to worry about contaminating anything. And because I created this cuff, I'm not going to touch anywhere where the chicken was. So I'm going to take white wine vinegar, about 1/4 cup, and we're going to pour that in and let that marinate for about an hour in the refrigerator. So we get that poured in here. And it's okay if you go and do a little bit more. This recipe easily doubles. I'm just going to put a little more because I didn't top it off when I did that. Okay, so we've got our white wine vinegar in there. And we want to close this up. See how we can do that now? I don't need this holding it up any longer. I'm going to close it so that I get as much air out as possible. So seal that up, get the air out. We want to have as much contact with the vinegar as possible. So I'm just going to make sure I move that around so that the vinegar gets on all the pieces. And then this is going to go in the refrigerator for, I'm going to get a little more air out of that. I think we can do that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I know I can get a little more out of that. Okay? And this is going to go in the refrigerator for an hour to chill, and then we'll come back and we will start cooking. Now that our chicken thighs have marinated for an hour in the vinegar, we've pulled them out and we want to dry them off as much as possible. The drier the skin, the crispier the end product is going to be. Moisture is not your friend on your skin if you want crispy skin. So I have paper towels below, as you can see, and on top. And you just want to make sure that they're super dry. Once you've done that, we're going to move over to the stove. All right, we have our pan. This is a cast iron skillet, and you want to do that because it's heavy. It's going to have an even amount of heat once it gets heated up. I've got this on a medium flame. We use my hand. I can feel that it's pretty much ready. And because the whole thing is cast iron, instead of using my hands to hold on to it, I use an oven mitt just to be safe so that I don't burn myself because the whole thing gets hot. So we're going to put our chicken's thighs in skin side down because we want that to crisp up. And I seasoned the skin with a little bit of salt. I'm just going to lay my pieces in here one at a time, not rushing. You want to make as much contact with the surface as possible. And you see I'm using my tongs so that I don't touch the chicken anymore. And we're just going to leave it there undisturbed, quite literally undisturbed, so that it will continue to crisp up. And what will happen right now is the chicken skin, because it's making contact with the hot surface, the fat is going to come out of it. So it's basically called rendering. So we're going to be rendering a lot of the fat out of the skin, okay? Especially when I turn this over. This is on the underside. So in the meantime, and you can see right here, this one's already curling back. We're just going to leave it alone and let it do its thing. And we're going to just put a little bit of salt on top, which is basically the other side of each piece. This is just a little bit of kosher salt. You can put pepper as well at this stage, but we're going to put pepper in our vinaigrette, and I don't really like things to be very peppery. It can take over, so I'm just leaving it like this, and it'll take about 8 to 10 minutes for all of this to really crisp up. It kind of depends on the level of heat your stove puts out. It also depends on the quality of your cooking vessel. This is a very good conductor of heat, the cast iron. If you're using aluminum, it may take a little bit longer. So you want to use something that conducts heat really, really well. And you're going to see, you can actually see this little piece moving here from the heat as it renders out. So we're going to let that cook, and we'll come back, flip them over, and get them into the oven. All right, let's check in our chicken thighs. They've been in for about 5 minutes at this point in our pan. And we want to see that they easily release. Look at that, what a dream. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to put that back down. I'm going to check the rest of them. Beautiful. Look at how lovely that is. Each piece literally just comes right up. This one could use a little more. Do you see how it's not as rendered on this side? It's very white. We need it to be nice and dark. Dark is beautiful in this application. So we're going to let those cook for a little bit more, probably another minute or so. I'm going to flip them over. We're going to add in crushed garlic. I've crushed the garlic. And then we're going to pop them in the oven. Our chicken is ready to get flipped and put into the oven. So we're going to take each piece. Isn't that gorgeous? And flip it over. One at a time. Look at how gorgeous those are. All right, so we're going to go right into the oven from here. So I'm going to put the 4 pieces of crushed garlic in there. And now we're going to pop this in a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, we've got our pan in the oven. We've got that going for about 20 minutes. All right, so we got our chicken out of the oven. It has reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Look at how crispy that chicken skin is. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to move us over here. And we're going to take the chicken out and put it on our platter. We're going to turn on the vent. It's going to be that loud sound you're going to hear. So we're going to take all the chicken off. Put it on our platter. We're going to take the garlic out. The garlic is, oh my God, so beautifully mushy. That's going to be good. Every piece will get some garlic. So we're going to, just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we cut our lemons in half, and we're going to actually bring the lemons over here. We're going to turn the heat on here to medium. And we're going to take our lemons face side down, and we're going to cook our lemons. In the meantime, while that's cooking, I put 2 tablespoons of honey in our bowl. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. So let's move over here. We're going to put our chicken up here on that cutting board. And the meat needs to rest regardless, so it's fine. You can loosely cover it, but don't cover it too much because it will make your skin not crispy. So I'm going to put some salt in here. This is going to be our vinaigrette. And we're going to use the pan juices and the lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Probably just a little bit shy of that, simply because we're going to get some of the chicken fat in here. All right, so we've got that. Now we're waiting for the lemons to go ahead and finish cooking. And they're going to make a bit of a mess. They're going to be a little bit splashy. We put them cut side down. You see they're already browning just a bit. All of this good stuff right here is going to go into our vinaigrette. I'm not scraping the bottom. This is literally coming up without any effort on my part. But that brown stuff is full of flavor. So we're going to get some of that in to our vinaigrette. So we've got fat and a liquid, which means this is going to splatter. So you need to be very careful. You're probably seeing some of this fat jump up. Just be very careful. Don't put your face over it. We're going to let the lemons sit here and cook for a good couple of minutes. So we'll come back when they're ready. All right, so it looks like our lemons are ready. See how brown they've become? We're going to turn the heat off. We're going to let them cool for a moment. We're going to put them on the cutting board to cool. And then we're going to squeeze them into our vinaigrette, and we're pretty much done. All right, so I've taken a strainer, put it over the honey and oil, and I put the pan juices in here as well. And I'm going to take my lemon. I'm going to ream it right on top here. And I use the strainer to catch any seeds. I'm going to ream one at a time, whisk it in, ream another one, whisk it in, see how much I actually need. Because lemons don't conform to one size, as you and I know. So I'm going to do the whole lemon, and then we'll do another whole lemon. So by heating it up, we've released some of the essential oils in the skin as well. And right now, it smells like I'm in a lemon grove. It's so lemony smelling. But this is lemon chicken thighs after all, so we want it to be super lemony. And I can tell by the amount of juice that I'm getting that I'm going to do at least one more. And remember, just let the lemons cool to the point where you can handle them. They don't have to be hot. All right. The reamer does a really good job of getting everything out. Okay, so I'm just going to use my whisk to get everything to flow through. See that? I'll let that drip for a second. A little bit more. And just so I don't lose any juice, I'm going to kind of sit it in there. I can usually get that to work. So we're going to whisk this. This is our vinaigrette. It's going right on top of the chicken. And then your chicken's ready. You can serve it with rice, which is how I would prefer to serve it, simply because the vinaigrette is exactly that. It's a runny sauce. It's not a thick sauce. It's not clingy. So it would do really well with rice. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Let's get our chicken over here and we'll plate it up. Okay, so our chicken has rested. We've got our vinaigrette, and all we need to do now is just take some vinaigrette, pour it over our chicken, and reserve some so that when you serve this, you can pour some more. Make sure everybody gets a piece of that roasted garlic as well, because that's going to be super flavorful. Remember, I put mine right here in the middle. So I hope you try this. These are lemon chicken thighs. And I bet when you taste it, you're going to say, that's delicious.